me and I'm of the right age, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah, no one's trying to figure out who they are and figure out who this other person might be, and maybe it's like a lot of it's just luck too.
Yeah, true
like
enough.
You just
right?
meet someone who happens to complement your deficiencies and vice versa. Make a good team, maybe. But
I think it's just
no small task once again.
I think it's just a sad byproduct of things becoming more and more expedient or convenience over quality.
It's all about your personal enjoyment and bliss now. It's like, you're
not going to be able to have that.
Feel good all the time. Have a high self-esteem. It's like no. You gotta. I feel like that's another issue with modern day education. Is it used to be about making people competent, and now it's about making people feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
But like, you don't feel good about yourself unless you've proven. Okay, for example, I took a 10-minute ice bath last week. I've been taking them regularly, and the first time I hit the 10-minute mark was last week.
Is it like a polar bear thing? Polar bear dip kind of thing?
Sort of, yeah. I've been really into
I figured.
Yeah, really into
Go jump in the harbor. Right?
Me and my buddy Kirk jumped in Chocolate Lake earlier in the winter, and
Godspeed.
You get in that lake and you get out so fucking fast. Your body's like, nope, we're out of here. Yeah. But anyway, so I finally lasted 10 minutes, and though it wasn't easy, I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't want to do it. I was watching the tub fill up, and I was like, oh, fuck. So then you get into it, and it's like 10 minutes, and shaking. I sent Anton a video of my feet, and I was just shaking. But then eventually the timer went off for the 10 minutes, and I got out, and I could not stop smiling. I couldn't stop. I was beaming, because... Okay, so I know about Wim Hof, and I know about people, like, lots of athletes do ice baths all the time, sometimes for an hour on end. I knew that I had the ability, if I cultivated it, to withstand such a thing. But it's just abstract knowledge at that point. Not until you actually subject yourself to a real burdensome experience of any sort, and something that you value, at least a bit, and then you go, and you're not entirely sure if you can do it, but you do it, it tests you to your limit, and then you do actually do it, and the challenge is over, and you've succeeded. That endorphin rush after that, and then it's like, it's embodied at that point. You actually know that you can do it. And it's like, it's not just feeling good about yourself for no damn reason. It's because you've proven to yourself, through lived experience, that you can conquer above suffering. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in a weird way, here's an interesting way to think about the ice bath, is it's not something that you were doing. It's something that you were able to not do. Because getting out of the bath is the intervention.
Yeah.
Once you're in there, you're there. It takes you making the choice to get out, right? Yeah. So...
And that choice beckons every second.
Every second it's telling you to get out,
constantly
right?
To stay in.
But exactly, you're literally just deciding to be where you are at that point. And you can overcome it. It's just pain. It's just existence. It's just what does that feel like? I've heard it's like needles stabbing.
If you do the right breathing, I did it the Wim Hof breathing technique for about a minute and a half beforehand. So like your body gets kind of tingly, just really oxygenated and charged up, and blood's really flowing everywhere really efficiently, and then when you're in it. I would have to maintain the breathing. My body would just turn red because it was so cold. But if I kept the breathing up, I was able to sit in it, and then eventually I'd actually kind of get comfortable and lay off the breathing because I would just forget about it. But then I immediately would start freezing again. But like I was doing the breathing the whole time. My toes never went numb or anything. Circulation was going the whole time. But yeah, it's definitely very cold. You don't want to do it, and you step into it, and your feet feel it first. I'm just like, then you got to lower down again.
I figure you worked up to that too, right?
I did. I've been taking cold showers for over a year now, and I started taking ice baths recently, and it's a whole different beast. Just being submerged in the cold water instead of just having it rain on you. But I did a polar dip in the lake earlier in the winter, and that was crazy. I thought I would be way more prepared after all the ice showers, but not even close. Your body, just the hypothalamus kicks into survival mode so hard that it's like your body thinks shit is hitting the fan right now. Yeah. Right now, you're freezing.
You get that big old blast of endorphins rushing through you and all that.
Yeah, it felt amazing afterward. because then you survive, and it's like, wow. I think there's a reason like people become adrenaline junkies, because there's something about confronting potential death or injury and all the fear and anxiety that comes up with that, doing something anyways, and then coming out the other end okay. That just rush, it just floods your brain. Yeah, so I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. Just like the physiological, chemical release of endorphins and all that, plus just the psychological side of it.
Yeah, I was going to say the and not just that, the psychological factor, I'm sure, is going to carry out into many other aspects of your life. Like if you can put yourself into a challenging and painful situation where your body feels like your body's programmed to feel like I could be dying right now, right?
Yeah.
It's, maybe I don't know enough about it, but I kind of feel like it would kind of help start rewiring your brain to be more, less fearful of those outside bodily influences telling you don't do that, right? If you can do it in a controlled environment and still let your body have that sensation of this is what almost dying is going to feel like, right?
Yeah.
It's. I feel like it would break down a wall that,
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like just pushing at those weak places, those barriers, and seeing, because I've just been really open-ended lately when I think about what a human being might be, like if we actually push against all the limits we have around us to the degree that it's unique for everyone and where you're willing to push into and stuff, but I feel like there's like nothing we can't do.
But that's like literally the exact opposite of, again, the social justice thing.
Yeah, it's make the world more comfy so I don't have to
stick myself in an ice bath. I don't have to feel anything.
Which, fittingly enough, leads very easily and well into like a government being like, oh, okay, we'll take care of you. We'll take care of you. You guys just
give away your autonomy.
Yeah,
and
I think that's
able to look after yourself.
I think that's going to be like, other than the whole fucking like how are we going to teach AIs to be moral conundrum. I think automation, like you were saying, like that's going to be
we
like
have to make sure they can feel pain.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Something.
Some sort of limitation.
Yeah,
that's an interesting one. The AI.
Yeah.
The AI thing, man, that's an interesting one. Because it's coming on a lot faster than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I thought I would be getting into my,
70s.
My 60s, 70s, 80s before we started seeing
people really talking about it, yeah.
Computers that were, like, capable of thinking on the level of a human. At the rate we're going, it looks like it's going to be, like, 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
And... the freaky thing about that isn't the fact that we could potentially get to creating an AI that has the intelligence of a highly intelligent human and the ability to think laterally and creatively and interpretively like we do, because we're actually alive, and problem solve in that way. Once we get to the singularity, which is going to be where we create an AI that is smart enough to create an AI smarter than itself.
Yeah.
It's game over.
It would do it in half the time.
And it would do it in half the time. And then, so it creates the next AI, and that AI can make an even better one than itself. And it's just...
in half the time again.
And half the time again. Exactly. It's going to be Moore's law, essentially, of intelligence advancement within computer technology. Yeah. And we're just going to be sitting there like, dum-de-dum-de-dum. Oh, is the meatloaf ready yet? Plumbing's broken. Okay. Jersey Shore's on, honey. Get the soda. Jersey Shore. I love this show. Season 38. Right?
Oh,
so that's...
all those people are like senior citizens in Jersey Shore, still living it up.
Right.
Weekly.
Still living it up.
That's one of the AI
with
thing.
A lawyer bailing them out of jail, or an AI lawyer bailing them out of jail.
Yeah, I think that's why we really just need to educate people, because if like automation is going to take off, whether AI becomes benevolent or malevolent, Like we're just
or something we just can't even imagine.
That's what I'm saying. Like you guys better stop feeding it all this weird, borderline pro-communisty, like subversive, like groupthink bullshit.
Especially if we start making AIs to like filter out tweets and stuff.
They're already doing it.
I know, yeah.
That's such a dangerous precedent. And like fucking Ray
Holy
Kurzweil.
fuck, what are we doing?
That's what I'm saying. Ray Kurzweil, Mr. AI Singularity.
Mr. AI boy.
Yeah, like he's working for Google now.
Yeah, that's
and he was like, and he like I have nothing but respect for the guy. He's a brilliant guy, but like he's nuts. He's nuts, dude. He wants to revive his dead father in computer form. Like that's some Sigmund Freud work. Yeah, it is. I don't think that's some brutal Sigmund Freud bullshit. And I don't think it's not only is it not going to work, but like it's just like, what are your motivations, man? And one of his predictions, because he loves making predictions, is that like by X year we're gonna have a fucking supercomputer capable of 10.6 teraflops of processing power.
Teraflops?
Yeah, or whatever.
Is that
like
the real terminology?
I think so.
No, it is. Incidentally, we're like way we're way past teraflops at this, but we're at petaflops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And someone was like,
sounds really bad. A petaflop is like the worst name. Yeah. I feel like that
Flops.
would be like.
So how many gigs is in a flop?
How many?
Or is there something in between I don't know about?
How many flops are in a gigaflop?
I thought 1,000, eh?
No,
10?
Gigaflop would be a billion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's a billion flops in a gigaflop. Yep.
Anyway,
fuck.
But
the petaflop is a trillion. So.
I feel like that's like some weird, just fucking liposuction pedophile guy.
Yeah.
I feel like a petaflop is like it feels like a really derogatory term to call somebody. Fucking petaflop.
Yeah.
Right?
Call someone a flop is derogatory. I wouldn't be like, thank you. I feel like I'm a good flop.
I'm such a flop.
I feel like all I'm good for is rolling around,
I feel like
somersaulting to the fridge.
Oh man,
yeah. Our best AIs will be the floppiest fucking AIs you've ever seen. the floppiest things.
Oh man.
Anyway,
the whole AI thing is something I'm guilty of burying my head in the sand about.
Yeah.
I just think about the whole halftime double smart thing until it's just like some kind of crazy neutron star.
Just become entropy.
Yeah. I'm just like, gonna go to work and not think about that.
Just imagine the implications of that. Imagine that we're driving around in cars, in fucking 2042, driving around in fucking cars still 2042. We're doing our thing. Next thing we know, within 3 years, we've developed hyperdrives and we're going to other galaxies.
Yeah,
and we're
wormhole generating.
Yeah,
you've got to make appeals. You got to make appeals to your local, singularity processing center.
Yeah, you got to get your wormhole permits. And
and here's the other thing.
Fucking Dale opened up a wormhole in my backyard. He crossed over the property.
Dale opened up a wormhole.
Your wife's a cunt, Dale.
Oh my god, that I can so see that. Right, that's what Idiocracy, but with the super intelligent AI. You seen Idiocracy?
No.
I think I've seen splashes and snippets over the years.
So
but
good.
No.
The basic premise of Idiocracy is that a guy gets frozen. It's a comedy, right? Mm-hmm. Guy gets frozen for 1,000 years by accident and gets reawakened. Right? Government experiment goes wrong. He gets put in a warehouse, and then warehouse gets demolished, and his little thing opens up in 1,000 years, and everyone's retarded. Because basically what happened is, and I started worrying about this when I was like 12, because I grew up in a small town, which I won't name, but had a lot of really dumb people that had a lot of babies. And
really dumb babies.
Well, yeah, I hate to say it.
Poor babies.
Fucking dumb babies.
It happens, man.
And the idea is over thousands and over 1,000 years, or maybe it was maybe it was 500 years, I can't remember. Basically, all of humanity had become completely retarded because the the dumb ones just out fuck the smart ones.
Oh yeah.
Right? And without any kind of natural predators or anything to thin the herd away, it just became a question of who can screw the most. And because the smart people typically don't have as many babies. And incidentally, this is a big thing that I think we need to address within our society, is the encouragement of